Everybody wants to know what the secret formula is for managing their habitat. That's the answer that all of us deer managers, habitat managers are striving to find. Okay. Here's the catch though, there isn't one solution for everybody. Every single property is different, every setting's different, the topography on every property is different, the deer utilize each property differently. Therefore, every one of us needs to come up with a completely different approach. Now, what works great on one property isn't necessarily going to work great on the next. It may, but it just as likely may not. Okay, a big difference right off the top of the bat is, are we dealing with a big woods setting or are we dealing with a farmland setting? Two completely different animals. In the big woods right now, I'm standing in what's oftentimes a very prime big woods food source. It's nothing more than an overgrown area. So you got the cool season grasses, the cool season weeds. You've got the browse down at deer mouth level, that they can go ahead and eat. This is a prime big woods food source. Farmland? No, it's not. Okay, another big difference between farmlands and big woods is that farmlands, food is rarely an issue. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna plant food plots because we want to draw them into this specific location. But you're kidding yourself if you think a food plot in a farmland situation where they've got corn, they've got soybeans, they've got alfalfa, they've got cow pastures, all within oftentimes a couple hundred yards. Those deer there are not going to be sucked into food to the same extent that a big woods deer is. That big woods deer, Mr. Big in the big woods, he can either be sitting there this time of year eating dead weeds and grasses and sticks or nothing. If he's really lucky, there's a few acorns left over for him to pick at. On big woods, think food. Okay, your big woods whitetail are naturally going to have a larger home range. They're going to have a larger home range more often than not because they need it to meet all their nutritional needs, all their food, comfort, breeding opportunities, feeling of safety. They need that big area to accomplish it all. Farm ground deer, they tend to be much more constricted home ranges. They don't have to go as far. Okay, what I like to focus on in the big woods settings, more often than not, there's gonna be exceptions. Food. Food is king. Those food plots in that big woods scenario, they end up drawing deer like crazy. So I go real heavy on food, and the food's gonna help right off the bat, sucking more does in, but I want that concentration of deer. 80% or more of big woods whitetails spend 90% of their time in 10% or less of the habitat. That they're looking for that area that offers them something that they can't get other places in an easy manner. One of the big things is food. So by putting all that food in that area, making sure they have good cover, now you are sucking those family groups in like crazy. You suck those family groups in like crazy. Mr. Big comes in to eat, and he comes back to breed.
Growing Big is brought to you by Wildlife Research Center, the gold standard. Reconyx, see what you've been missing. Antler King, bigger bucks, healthier deer. The Heater Bodysuit, you stay warm or your money back. Furminator, the best food plot implement on earth. Redneck Blinds, the best hunting blinds on the planet. Chestnut Hill Nursery and Orchards. And foodplotsfordeer.com, planning your habitat improvements and improving your hunting.
You really need to differentiate between farmland and big woods settings when it comes to management. Okay, farmland, you've got much more constricted home ranges. The bucks are much more willing to spend the disproportionate amount of their time in a smaller area. Those big woods deer, they're more nomadic. They're bred that way to meet all their needs and wants and desires. Okay, because everything's so spread out, they have to be more spread out. In many cases, one of the most effective things to focus on when it comes to habitat improvement in the big woods settings, food. Offer a surplus of food and offer good doe bedding. The family groups are going to suck in for the food. They're going to stay for the bedding. Mr. Big is going to be coming in for the food, and he's going to be coming back for the breeding. Take that approach, and more often than not, it's going to lead you down the right path.